PJNet Live, Part 2, with Michelle Medlock Adams coming up. She is standing by in our green room. We have the bumper rolling. The chat room is very much alive, and, well, all cameras are aimed and in focus. Let's switch to Studio 6 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to part 2 of PJNet Live on this Wednesday evening in the Christmas season, and we have decorated our studio with this wonderful, well, we'll hear more about this in a minute. And standing by in our green room, we have Santa Claus, or maybe one of his elves. Oh, Michelle, by the way, I am so grateful that you sent Ashley to us last week. I had no idea. And it's funny because we followed up the next day. You're in like Indiana. What's that team up there called? The
the Hoosiers, they beat Florida State last night. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, so everybody.
That's Bethany's team, so I was pretty excited.
Well, I hold 2 degrees from that illustrious institution of higher learning. Anyway, so, but it turns out, in following up with Ashley, I found out that we live in the same town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
She's a local girl. That's right.
To me,
she's
anyway.
amazing. I knew you'd love her. She's so great.
Well, and she is special because not only is she talented in her writing and things like that, but, to most people can't do what you do. I mean, you're pretty accomplished. You're used to being in front of a camera and in the spotlight, and you kind of live, but to get a call, it couldn't have been more than 10 minutes before we went on the air. Hey, can you pull this off? Well, she did.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, she did a great job. I'm really proud of her, and I'm just happy that you have on your team.
I love her.
Such a good player. So
she's like family. She really is.
You're very blessed. You're very blessed.
Yes, I am.
Hey, you're doing the Christmas season thing, and as I will say something that you said earlier, once you put that hat on, you really can't take it off because your hair has gone boing at that point.
Yeah, it'll be a flat head after that. And I had to have it on for the series writer 12 Days of Christmas that we promoted today. Bethany Jett, my co-author, and I on They Call Me Mom and Platinum Faith. She is also one of the co-owners of Series Writer, and we did a teaching on marketing today. And we both wore our Santa hats. And so, yeah, it's been on all day. And I had my Rudolph sweater on. I mean, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go with this and embrace it. My husband said the same thing. He's like, have you been wearing that hat all day? I'm like, yes, I have. So, what are you going to do?
Well, before we talk about the 12 Days of Mom, which I'm very eager, even though I'm not a mom, for many, you're getting in the Christmas spirit in this Christmas season. You're wearing the hat and the Rudolph, but for a lot of people, getting in the Christmas season or the spirit of the season means going down to the car, pulling out a Visa card, going to the mall. I said, did I say going out to the car?
Yeah.
But it's all based on shopping, and I think we all pay lip service to it, but let me go a little deeper. It's the spirit of mammon.
Yeah.
It's mammon that says you've got to live up to this standard, and the way you do that is through the buying of things. Can things make you happy?
I mean, there's happiness and then there's joy. Yes, a really nice pair of shoes and a great purse can make you happy, but that's a temporary thing. Joy is a supernatural thing. That's a spiritual gift. It's one of the fruits of the Spirit. That isn't the same thing as happiness. So, yeah, I think things can make you happy temporarily. Problem is, it's never enough because that's not. You want more shoes. You want more whatever it is you're into. And so joy comes only from the Lord. And I think that is important to talk about during the Christmas season. We talk a little bit about that even in our They Call Me Mom book. I think it's important when you're raising children especially to let them understand the difference in the two, happiness and joy, and also during the season of giving and receiving, that it's more important to be the giver than the receiver. The whole season is about God giving his greatest gift to the earth, which is what I put in my little "What is Christmas" book. That's a a truth you want to get to your children early on in life, that's what Christmas season's all about. It's about when God gave his greatest gift to us because he loved us that much and giving us his son Jesus to be here on earth. He came in the baby form, and we know the story. And that's what the Christmas season is about. It's not about, how many presents you have wrapped under the tree, or how many office Christmas parties you go to, or how many Santa hats you own, or any of those things. Those are all fun things. Those are all okay things, as long as you keep the real reason for this season in, I guess, prioritized at the top. And I think there's a couple ways to do that, and you can give your suggestions too, because I'm sure you've got some. But one of the things that we did with our children early on is, remember the catalogs that used to come in the mail, like the big Sears catalogs? And I mean, I'm dating myself, but those used to come in the mail. Now everything's online. But when those used to come in the mail, my girls would get their different colored markers out, and they would circle everything they wanted, for Christmas, and they'd write their name next to it. I mean, my goodness, Mark, I would get the catalog, and there wasn't a page that didn't have 22 circles on it. And I'd say, girls, we are not buying all this stuff. This is not going to happen. This is not reality. And you realize, even though they were little, that they were being sucked into that. Every commercial that would come on that would advertise something, they're like, I want that. I'm like, you don't need that, and you're not getting that. Like, it became a thing that we had to really early on kind of reel in. And so our church and many churches have the angel tree, where you can go in and choose a child that is less fortunate than others, who maybe won't get any other presents unless you choose them as your angel, the angel that you go and buy. It tells you their sizes and what they want and their preferences, their favorite color, that kind of thing. And so each year my girls would go and choose an angel, and we would go and shop for them. And I would say to them before we left the house, now listen, you're not getting nothing today. This is all about these little angels that we picked out. And we're going to do this and buy stuff for them with joy. And we're going to wrap them up, and we're going to pray over them. And this is going to be a big thing. And you know what? They didn't fight me on that. They got so excited. They didn't even ask for anything when we got to the store. They couldn't wait to pick out stuff with these other two little girls that we chose off the tree. And then to be able to wrap them and like pray over them together and talk about the fact that these may be the only presents they get, and what a blessing it is that we were able to do this for them. That's how you can take commercialism of Christmas and turn it on its nose, and say, nope, it's about giving, and let's all possess that spirit. And it does make an impact, and my girls still remember that, and they're still givers. Both my daughters are givers, and I don't take credit for that. That was just a God thing. That's because we early on realized that was going to be a problem, and we nipped it in the bud. Like Barney Five used to say on Andy Griffith, we nipped it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. And we did.
Michelle, this crusty old football coach is not easily taken in by sentimental and heartwarming stuff, but I got to admit, there is something about this time of year, this season, and I'm taking a little detour from the Christian and spiritual importance, as important as those are, but there is some nice side effects of this season. For example, some of the Hallmark movies that you see, some of the movies, how the Grinch Stole Christmas and Rudolph the Red-Nosed. But just the other day, or last night actually, I saw a commercial, and I'm a Southern Baptist. I got to be real careful what I say here, but Budweiser knows how to get to your heart. Have you seen the little dog thing?
I cried. I cried on this commercial. I'm telling you, if that doesn't pull at your heartstrings are broken. Like, they know how to do it. You're exactly right. Yeah,
but
those are good.
I think a spiritual observation, I would say there is some goodness in humanity that it's at our very core. Now, some of the people who see that don't know that where that core got its goodness from. We do.
Right.
but it's there, and it reveals itself during this time of year when people set aside the hustle and the bustle and the narcissism and the career focus, and we kind of reflect inward because the new year will be coming up. So it's a time of introspection to where we can gain perspective on what's really important. So, Christmas has some good effects on the culture, even aside from the birth of our Savior and Lord Jesus Christ.
I think you're right. And you see that, you see how people are kinder to each other, even in crazy situations in the mall. I used to work retail at Christmas. That'll make you lose your joy pretty daggone quick. But when I was going through college, I worked retail several seasons during Christmas just to make some extra money. But I think that what you're saying is true. I know when we lived, Allison, my youngest, was living in Los Angeles, going to college out there to to FIDM, to a fashion school. She was majoring, fashion design. When she was out there, I didn't want her to spend Thanksgiving alone. She couldn't come home because of the finals and things. And so I flew out to be with her, and I had some business out there, but we volunteered. I said, I don't even know how to make a turkey. Like, let's not do that. Why don't we use this holiday spirit time? And I mean, I wasn't going to try. I said, why don't we just go and volunteer at a soup kitchen or something? And we called all the soup kitchens in the area and all the homeless shelters and places to see if they could use us. And we were willing to do whatever, serve stuff or pick up trash or like whatever they needed us to do. And, they were all full up because at this time of year
Mm-hmm.
during like Thanksgiving and
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, everybody and their dog volunteers because they want to help. And so you're right that spirit of wanting to be good to our fellow humans, that happens. And so they
Yeah.
didn't need us, and that happens a lot. But of course, the thing to do then is to volunteer not just at Christmas but year round. That was a
Yeah.
good lesson for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, isn't that good? That's good that they got a lot of help during this time of year because people do have big hearts and they want to help. And there's something about this season that makes even the Grinchiest Grinch their
Mm-hmm.
heart grows 7 times bigger.
Michelle, I saw. I think it started yesterday. The 12. I forget what it's called. The
The 12
12
days
days
of
of
mom. It
mom.
starts tomorrow, actually, but we did start promoting it yesterday. You're right.
Whose idea was this?
So Bethany and I, we were
But
talking about
but
this.
no, wait a minute. Bethany and I. Whose idea was this?
Yeah,
Somebody hatched
it
this
was
thing.
mine.
All right.
It was okay. It was mine. But we brainstormed together. But okay. So I was one that said it. But here's what we were talking about when we were doing some of our brainstorm marketing stuff. Is that we really really want moms to feel special, not just at Mother's Day, but year round. And during the Christmas season, especially during the holiday time, there's so much pressure on moms. I mean, you've got the holiday parties. You have to bake all like 5 million Christmas cookies. There's Christmas plays. You've had to help your kids know the lines and make their costumes sometimes and be at all those things. I mean, there's like so many things you are obligated to be at during this time of year. And even if you're homeschooling, there's still all the other things that you do during this time of year. Usually it's the moms that are in charge of the gift buying and the wrapping and the writing of the Christmas cards and just all the extra stuff that you don't do day in and day out. You're already overwhelmed. And so we just thought, wouldn't it be neat to take 12 of our favorite moms, people that in our circles, and ask them for like one key piece of advice or some mom hack, something that'll be a time saver or something that will bless other moms, right? And so we asked moms of all ages, who have little kids at home, all the way up to moms that are like my age that have that have kids that are grown having their own kids. What is one thing you wish you'd known, or some piece of advice that will help people get through this time of year? And so it was really great. Like we got some really funny responses. We just Bethany interviewed 6, I interviewed 6, and that's where they have got the 12 days of mom. So the 12 days of Christmas, we get the 12 days of mom leading up to the amazing holiday. But it starts tomorrow and it goes for 12 days. So tomorrow is Jennifer Watson, and then we go from there. But I just, it's so cool. Like we never plan it. We just let God kind of take the lead. And each mom just kind of builds. Like it's so fun, some of the things that they told us. And it just resonated. Like Ashley Jones that was on the show last week. She's one of the moms. She's a new mom. She's got a little boy named Gordon who just turned a year old.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about one of her favorite things that she's learned in the year that she's been the mom. And it was such a great tip. I mean, I think moms are going to love this.
When was it when you all hatched this scheme? Was it a week ago, a month ago? I mean,
We started talking about this in September. That was when we really kind of started talking about what we wanted to do to help launch our Mom, They Call Me Mom book, which is, this pretty little cover here, They Call Me Mom. And so we started talking about what are some things we can do, but we didn't want to just always be like, here's another ad, look at us, buy this book. We wanted to somehow give back, like do some things to give back. With Platinum Faith, we had the Online Women's Summit, and we're going to do that around Mother's Day for moms. But just to do something this time of year, knowing how stressful it is, and this book launching, it launched the 19th of November, so it's right in the middle of all this crazy holiday stuff. We thought that would be a really great idea, is to feature 12 moms, let them give their favorite mom advice. And so that's what we did. And it not only, all the moms we chose, not all of them have books out. Most of them are in our writing family just because that's who we hang out with. But we wanted to let them share not just their advice, but also how do we contact you and learn more from you. Some of them are speakers. Some have books coming out, like Ashley's got books coming out next year. Mm-hmm. And so it was a great way to give them a little more platform. But we just had the best time with it. We're going to be doing more of this stuff. I think it's great to feature other women who have all these amazing ideas. It says in the Bible that we're to mentor others. And this is a great way to do that. And it's just fun. We're going to have a live watch party every day at 10
Yeah.
a.m. If you
10
can't be
o'clock
there during
in the
10
morning.
a.m. On the on the Facebook group, They Call Me Mom, then you can still watch it on michelleandbethany.com. Just go to our website and you can watch the videos at your own leisure. But the watch party will be live every day at 10 a.m.
I lost my mouse there. It's a wire. It's a cordless mouse, so the battery goes into rest. So I'm trying desperately to put your website up here.
Yes,
And
there it is, michelleandbethany.com at it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard, I should say. That's
Eastern time. One of the things that I love about PJNet and what makes it different is we have a chat room. Now, a lot of platforms have a chat room, but it's 24 hours. But let me share with you something. You are certainly a champion of moms and all things motherhood. But let's but some people may see and I don't know all the 12 yet, but there's a lot of moms out there that are just kind of living the dream. They've got a home, they've got children and grandchildren, and we get this kind of image of the American family. But things have changed a lot in the decades. There's a lot of single moms out there, and there's a lot of dads raising children too. How do we reach out to them? How does the message get to the dad who's having to raise kids by himself, the mom who's raising kids? Are some of the people that you're featuring in this 12 days in that category, or have you given that any thought?
We absolutely have. In fact, we in the book we have a chapter. It's about the others that we call mom, the other moms, the stepmoms, the women that have stepped in when the mom's no longer there. Moms. They even have a whole section of those cards at Hallmark now. It's like the women that are the other moms. They don't have it for dads yet, but there are a lot of dads raising kids that, like you said, there's a lot of grandmoms who are raising their grandchildren because the moms are on drugs or in jail or whatever. It's a time when families are not the families from the Andy Griffith show. They're not from the 50s and 60s.
There you go. It's not the Waltons,
right?
Yeah.
It's not, and it probably isn't going to be again. So we just have to know that. And so we were very in tune with that. We wanted to also make sure that we address those who are special needs moms. That's a whole different ball game. And so we've got, like, Evelyn Mann's one of the people that we're going to be featuring. We've already talked to her around Mother's Day. We're going to do a full-blown thing with her. She's got a little boy. She has an amazing book out, and another one coming out, I think, in like 3 months. But she's a special needs mom, and she always has great wisdom. So we wanted to make sure that we addressed all of those concerns so that every mom could find themselves in this. I even had a lady message me, and she said, "Well, I'm a dog mom. Does that count?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, it counts. You can be a dog mom and read our book." I mean, you got to be sensitive. There are some people who can't ever have children. Like, that infertility is a real thing, and we've got some of that in our family. And so there's that Mother's Day is a heartbreak for them, and everything that women, so we tried to be sensitive to that. Yes, the book is for moms, but there's something in here for all women. And so we were intentional. Now, this 12 Days of Moms, we weren't as intentional about that because we know that the summit we're going to have in April leading up to Mother's Day is going to be more intentional about that. But we did try to get all the different age groups.
Michelle, it's occurring to me, I alluded to it earlier, but in your profession, and you do it so well, you have to be thinking well over the horizon. You can't deal with the season you're in, because by the time you do the work and the creativity, how far over the horizon are your thoughts with Bethany today? You're thinking already Mother's Day?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Bethany is a marketing genius. She's getting her master's degree, and she graduates, I think, in January with a degree in marketing promotion or publicity promotion. Anyway, it's in the marketing realm, but she's been part of her assignments have been developing marketing and campaigns, and actually for real brands and real things. So she knows a lot. I kind of bring the old school part back in, like the press releases, and I've learned a lot of stuff in my 20 plus years in this industry, and then we merge and then we learn from each other. So it's been a good thing. And I'll have to say that, like, we did a marketing thing today on Serious Writer, and when we get to talking, it's like that synergy. There's just, I don't know, we like each other so much. We just birth all these things. We're so excited. So we were on the phone 2.5 hours on Monday, just brainstorming what we're going to be doing in 2020. Where's Platinum Literary going? What are we doing? Where do we see God taking us? I mean, it's all God led. We don't want to do anything outside of His will. But yeah, you do have to think ahead because, like most magazines, Mark will publish anywhere from 6 to 9 to even a year out. So you have
Hmm.
to really be thinking, okay, if I need to have a Christmas article in, well, then I need to be thinking about that in like May. If I want to have a Mother's Day article in, I might be too late already. Like it might be too late to get something in, but I can go ahead and send some query letters out. So you really do have to be forward thinking, and but that's part of the fun of it. I think figuring out how to get your book or your message or your speaking ministry out there, that's the fun part. Like I like this part of it. The writing of it's kind of hard. I mean, that's the brutal, button chair time, just on your face before God. But this is a lot more fun. So we brainstorm all the time, and Kyle's like that too. Kyle Young, our agent,
Oh yeah.
Dell. We're all pretty forward thinking, but we also just, I think we all love what we do, and just the same way you do. You have to think about what's next, what's coming
What's
next, what's
next?
God going to do, so that you can be ready in season and out. You can be prepared for what's coming. I mean, I think it's important to not be too over ambitious so that you can enjoy the journey. If you're always looking too far to the goal and not enjoying the journey, but you can do both. You can handle all that as long as you keep God. Say God every day. Just give him, say God. Just I would love it if you just order my day, order my steps. It says in the word that you will order my steps, Father. So today I'm just asking, order my steps. Don't let me go to the left or right. Keep me on that straight path that you have for me. And as I'm planning for 2020, Lord, I want you involved in every aspect of that. Don't let me start getting outside of the things you have for me. Because just because, like I always say, just because it's a good idea doesn't mean it's a God idea. So always just check with him. And I think that's where we get into it. Because all these, in the next couple of weeks, it's going to all be about what's your New Year's resolution? What's the word that God gave you for next year? You see all kinds of posts on social media about that. Um, just check with God and all that before you kind of figure it out yourself, because you need to do that. I need to do that. I'm preaching to myself here. I don't want to get ahead of God. That's when I get in lots of trouble. Ever done that? Not good.
It's hard, and I really, as I hear you talk about the future, it seems like you're living the dream, but in so many ways, there are similarities between the vision and the mission here at PJNet, as well as the mission that you're on, and your peers and the serious writers. Because you see, we do have to think forward, because you can't have an idea today and implement it tomorrow. It takes time, and so you do have to plan. But in your plans, you got to be careful, because whose plan is it? You can come
That's
up with
right.
all kinds of good things to do for God. Okay, that doesn't mean God assigned you to do it. And I hate to give Oprah Winfrey credit for anything, but she said something one time that has been a thought of mine for a long time: is I don't, seek success. I seek to be effective. There's a difference. I have seen coaches and I'm really getting on a detour here, but we got to wrap it up anyway. So I'm going to take some executive privilege. I have seen winning coaches that won every game and went to the state and all that, and in the process they lost their family. They went away from the church, and they were given all these accolades, and the trophies and the write-ups in the paper, and I thought, you're no success. I don't care. You don't even, your kids don't even know you. You care more about the kids on your team than you do your own kids. We got to be careful planning. We got to be
Absolutely.
careful, and we got to seek God, because plans that we may think are good might not be our assignment. And it was Michelle
That's right.
Medlock Adams that said, you can be good at several things, but you can only be great at a couple, maybe even one.
That's right.
By the way, the chat room loves your hat.
Oh, thanks. You know where I got this? The Dollar Tree. I mean, I spent a whole dollar on this. So I'm telling you what, go get yourself one Dollar Tree.
You should have bought a cup of coffee.
All right, Mark, I'm
You
sending you one for
can't.
Christmas. That's what you're getting.
Oh, Michelle, it is so great. You just radiate the joy, and you know what? You can fake that for a little while, but you've been on here week after week after week, and you are a joyful servant of the Lord and His King, and we're just darn lucky to have you. Any
Well, thank you.
travel plans? Are we going to be interrupted? Do any recorded sessions over the holidays?
Boy, I hope not. We are here. I don't have anything else booked until January, so I am going to be here. Jeff's kind of excited about that too. I'm actually going to be at my house, And now this Saturday, I've got a book signing here in Bedford, Indiana, and we're having a Christmas parade downtown. It's going to be all fun and festivities. We're having a little party. If you're here, stop on by. Food, folks, and fun right here at our house. But that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be doing in Christmas, just being with family and friends and celebrating. So I'm
Well,
excited. I love December.
you can't go fishing, so you might as well.
Isn't that the truth? I'm not into ice fishing, but we just booked tickets to go to Florida in January for some fishing. So I can't wait too long.
Come on down. We got fish and mosquitoes and lottery tickets and high
Oh,
taxes. So come on down.
love it. We will be there.
All right, Michelle. We'll see you next week, girl.
See you guys. Thank you.
All right, bye. Oh, you gotta love Michelle Medlock Adams, and her partner Bethany Jett is a dynamic individual, and they are two peas in a pod. They go together like peas and carrots. Folks, it has been a wonderful night. Thank you for sharing your time with us. You have really been an inspiration to me. The way the chat room, the people that come here, the folks that watch this, share with others. This is still got to be the best kept secret on the internet. PJNet Live will. Well, we got a lot going on. We've already gone over. I won't address that right now. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing this time with us. And we got more and more and more coming up on PJNet Live.